This is a 5-minute guided Sensate focus exercise. The aim of it is to allow you to start to experience touch and sensation through your hand. So before you begin, gather near you a few different objects. They can be anything at all, it's not really important what they are, but it does help if they're of a size which you can easily hold in one hand. And sometimes it's also helpful to find objects that have an interesting feature, maybe an interesting texture or shape, but really anything will do, even something like a stone or a pebble. So when you're ready to begin, make sure you're seated comfortably, maybe leaning back so that you're supported from behind and able to relax the muscles in your body as much as possible. Begin by letting both hands rest in your lap, closing your eyes, and just bringing your focus and awareness to your breath as it flows in and out of your body. Just allowing the breath to move in and out naturally, not trying to change it, but just becoming aware of how the breath flows. Maybe it's shallow, maybe it's deep. But you're not looking to change the breath, just to become aware of the flow of air in and out of your body. And then with your right hand, take one of the objects and bring it to your left hand. So your right hand will be the guide, moving the object over your left hand. And with your left hand, you're going to be trying to notice as much as you can about how this object feels, keeping your eyes closed so that you really start to notice the sensation in your left hand. Beginning to move the object across the surface of the skin of your hand and bringing your awareness to what you notice about this thing. What are its qualities? How does it feel against your hand? And moving the object as slowly as you can. Maybe slow your hand down by almost half of what you might be naturally inclined to do with the speed, so that you can really feel as much subtlety about how this object feels against your skin as you move it, keeping the breath flowing while you move the object, taking in as much air as you want. And making sure you move the object over as many different parts of your hand as possible. So remember to include the back of your hand, your knuckles, the spaces between your fingers, the tips of your fingers, your fingernails, and of course the palms of your hands, and the ridges across the fingers, and even the wrists. And every time the object moves to a new part of your hand, really notice how that feels. How does that feel on that part of the hand? And how does that feel different from where it was before? Maybe try varying the pressure a little. How does the object feel if you press it harder or softer? What does the sensation feel like in your hand? Noticing the texture and the weight of the object. And if your focus drifts, if you find your mind wandering, bring it back to the sensation that you're feeling in your hand. Just gradually return your awareness to your hand and the object from your thoughts. Maybe noticing where the object feels particularly pleasant. Where are you drawn to move the object to? And equally maybe noticing where it feels less nice or less pleasant. And staying with both of those things when you find them for a while. Just exploring how that sensation feels. And where that sensation is located in your hand. And then when you feel that you've covered as much of the skin of your hand on both sides, in between the fingers, when you've covered as much as you possibly can, gradually bring the movement of the object to a still point, and just allow your focus to experience the stillness of the object against whichever part of your hand it's resting against. And then repeat the exercise with a different object, using your left hand as the guide and your right hand to experience the sensation. It's important to use a different object for the other hand so that you have no expectations of what the object will feel like. Quite often when we think we know what something is going to feel like, we will feel what we expect to, or we may be disappointed not to experience what we're expecting. So it's good to try this exercise for the second time with a different object so the experience is fresh.